Hey guys, Jared Wesley here of Live Traders, and it is that time of the week. It's lecture time. This week's lecture, and I don't want to overstate this, I think I'm just being honest, might be the most important lecture that I've ever done. There's lots of lectures on great topics. A lot of those are related to technical trading, trade management, etc. But this week's topic is on integrity as it relates to trading. A lot of people have been asking me about psychology lectures. How can they get their mental game straight so they can make more money? But this week's topic, when we talk about trading integrity, is extremely important. It's borderline profound, if you will, because it's the single reason most of you are struggling and not making money. You lack integrity. Okay, I know it sounds harsh. You're going, whoa, 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 you're questioning my integrity? I am. As a trader, I'm questioning your integrity. And it's a topic we're going to talk in great detail about today. Don't worry, I relate it to trading with charts and where you're lacking the integrity with stop losses and targets, not following your plan. We talk about pilots and checklists, all kinds of great things, but it's a very powerful lecture, guys. And it's something that could be life-changing for you guys because you're lacking something that's so important. It's at the core of success in life in general. And the craziest part of all about this topic as it relates to trading is that the more integrity you have, the more money you make. And here's the odd part. That's not always true in life. Sometimes bosses and people that you work for ask you to do things that are a little bit shady, right? And if you did the shady thing, lacking integrity, you'll get ahead. But if you showed integrity, you might lose your job. Trading is the opposite. The more integrity that you show, the more money that you're going to make. So it's a very interesting dichotomy. And we talk about the market being your master because the market is your master and you have free will. The market doesn't control what you do. You control what you do. But doing the wrong thing, you'll pay the consequences for it. So again, I feel it's a very powerful lecture, one of the more powerful lectures that I have given. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it as well, and hopefully it will take your trading to the next level. As always, if you would like a $1 14-day trial, please, the link is in the description. If you're interested in that, getting a 14-day trial to the chat room. Also, if you like this video, click that like button, and also subscribe. This stuff comes out every week. Good stuff. You want to be reminded and notified when a new video comes out. Also, last quick thing, I'm working on doing a kind of a trade recap video. I haven't done one in a little while, so expect that here in the next, I don't know, 3 to 7 days, give or take. All right, I'm Jared Wesley of Live Traders. Let's get to it. All right, so this week's topic is one that at first glance you're like, ew, this is going to be a boring lecture, integrity, doing the right thing. This is maybe, and I don't want to overstate it because I haven't finished it yet, and maybe it'll turn out to be crap. I don't know. But I'm going to say, without exaggeration, this might be the single most important lecture that I'll ever do, okay, or have ever done. And yet very few of you will actually take this to heart and make real change. Okay, everybody always wants to know what the holy grail is, and I want to figure this out, and why aren't I making more money there, and blah, 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 blah. But the fact of the matter is, it comes down to integrity, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so integrity, doing the right thing even when it's hard. And yes, there are charts in here. For those of you that are that shallow that you can't go through an entire lecture without looking at charts, I have intermingled charts into my integrity lecture. Otherwise, I knew I wouldn't get any of you to last more than 30 seconds. Okay, so before we get into that, as always, when will the insanity stop? Okay, when will the insanity stop? This week's edition of When Will the Insanity Stop comes courtesy of somebody who emailed me May 13th, as you can see, so about a week ago, and actually said, thank you for your free YouTube videos. I've been watching them for a couple months, and then he told me a story or emailed me a story. I'm going to give you the summary of it, but I will read from it because this is a sad one, man. We've seen people lose millions, right? We've seen that. But this one kind of,
man, this one hurts, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because this person didn't just lose $60,000. So what? We've seen plenty of people lose a lot more than 60 grand, even though this person has a bachelor's in business administration. So how much are you really learning in college if you can go piss away 60 grand after you got your bachelor's degree, after you spent 100 or 200 grand? Oh, and even worked for Charles Schwab. So what's that tell you? Wall Street brokers, stock broker, large company, well-respected company. What are they doing with your money if they can't even control their own money? Yes, I said it. What are those guys doing if they can't control their own money? What are they doing with your money? I really don't know, but this one, in this case, is not very good. So as he said, because of the job, I had an inflated sense of my own competence. At least he was able to admit it. But here's the problem. This last paragraph, I'm going to skip to it because I don't want to spend too much time on this. At this time, I still owed $40,000 in student loans. I lost every dollar I had. I was depressed, which is not normal for me. I'm an optimistic person, blah, blah, blah. Because the addition of making fast money was so strong, this is where it gets tough, guys. I convinced my now fiance to let me trade in the brokerage account of her parents, that her parents had for her, 30 grand in there. I bought $30,000 worth of Boeing stock on Friday because I thought it had bottomed out, and I lost over $10,000 by Tuesday, and by the end of the week I was down to 14 grand. Basically, they lost over 50% of a $30,000 account in 1 week. Why? Wait for it. Because I thought Boeing bottomed out. Now, let's be honest for a second. Rhetorical question, but I want this to hit home. How many of you out there, go look in the mirror hard on this one. How many of you out there, when Boeing tanked, when all the airlines tanked, when all the cruise ships tanked, CCL, RCL, AAL, DAL, UAL, how many of you all bought them and said, there's no way they can go lower? How many of you did that? I bet you tons of you guys did it. Tons of you guys did it. And now what? Some of them bounced off the bottom. Airlines aren't going to do shiznit for the next few years. They are dead in the water. I've said it a million times. It's a business you don't want to be a part of, okay? Maintenance fees, union problems, airplanes breaking, weather delays, having to buy new airplanes, logistical problems. It's a nightmare being in the airline business. And you guys all wait for it because I thought it had bottomed out. How often have you guys said that? Without any technical reason to do so, it just looks extended. It's a great value. Did you look at the company? No, it just looks like a good value here. So many people have done it. My point is this person lost $60,000 because of a hunch. Unbelievable to me. I don't even have the words for it. And the worst part about the one that hits home so bad on this here is this person borrowed money from somebody else and lost that person's money. Somebody they love, their parents, his girlfriend, fiance, whatever, and they lost that person's money too. So when I tell you guys about money management, when I tell you how serious this business is, when is it going to sink in? This is real stuff. I could lose 60 grand. It doesn't mean anything to me. The most people, you're losing 60 grand. It probably took you 5 or 10 years to save that kind of money. And you just pissed it away in 1 week. Granted, it was only 16 grand in 1 week. You get the point. You're throwing away life savings because you think you're going to get rich quick, and you have no business thinking that other than some ridiculous BS like Google advertisement that you read. Okay? Sad. All right, one more quick one. This one's not nearly as bad. It's almost borderline anticlimactic after that one. I lost $3,000 because I didn't train for crypto trading. So why would you be gambling $3,000 on something you know nothing about? I only put this one in here just because of the sheer lack of common sense. I put it in here because so many of you are doing this. You're coming in, this person doesn't even know how to set a limit order. They don't even know how to set a stop market order. They don't even know how to calculate their gain after a trade. But yet, they've already lost $3,000. So they don't know anything about trading. Nothing. So when I give you guys analogies, I do it to kind of get you guys to think more clearly, use a little more common sense, okay? Would you just go randomly to a casino and plunk down $3,000 on a game you'd never played before? Say you'd never played blackjack before, never played poker, never played nothing, and you're like, yeah, let me put 3,000 on this hand. You probably wouldn't do that. All right. Would you go and play Roger Federer if you've never played tennis? Be like, yeah, Roger, you know what? F you, Roger Federer. Here's 3 G's that says I can beat you in a match, a game of tennis. Good luck with that. But yet in trading, somehow you feel like it's acceptable to do those things. Right? You do. I don't know why you feel that way, but you feel like, yeah, I have no experience on this. But I read a Google article that said, crypto's going to go up this month. So I just bought 3,000 of it. Come on, man. All right? Come on, man. And one last quick comment. This isn't really an insanity comment, but this is, when we talk about entering trades with stop limit orders and the reason we don't use stop market orders. Somebody sent this to me on StockTwits. I think it was yesterday, actually. And it says, I'm new and trading low-risk sized lots, so I haven't really sweat slippage. But I had a stop set for 133 on AYX, and it popped to fill me at 135.34. They used a stop market order to get in, and they took $2.34 slippage on the entry. That is why you don't use stop market orders when entering trades. Because you're giving yourself up to the market. You're at the mercy of the market. You're telling the market, fill me wherever. I just want to be filled. I love AYX so much. I don't care where you fill me. So in this case, $2.34 higher. I'm not interested in that. That's not trading. That's gambling, which is what most of you guys are doing. Okay? All right. So let's dig in. All right? Let's dig in. The insanity is going to stop, at least for right now, because I'm moving on. Okay? I want to go over 2 or 3 charts. And then when I'm done going over the 2 or 3 charts, we're going to get into the full lecture here. But I want to do this. I think I'm going to start making this a regular in the weekly lectures. After we do the insanity section, I'm going to talk for a couple minutes about recent charts that people have mentioned, recent charts that people have traded. And we're going to go through them, spend 5 or 10 minutes on them because I think it's important. So here's this chart from Love from yesterday, LUV, okay? A stock that gapped up, pulled back, bounced, pulled back, bounced, okay? So I understand, guys, at this point in time, we're only looking at the 1-minute chart. But that's all we need to look at for this analogy, okay? So when you look at this chart, and some of these questions are a bit rhetorical, but one of the things you guys have to think about, we always talk about looking to the left, okay? And that's always important. Beyonce's no fool, right? She knows what she's talking about. But when you see a stock gap up to 28.65, and it doesn't do 100% retracement, right? 100% retracement in this case would be somewhere around 27.20. It does like 110, 120%. And not only is it doing 100+% retracement, it tries to bounce and not only pulls back and fails on this pivot, it fails again. So let's do the math here, guys. Here's a bounce that failed. Right here, take a look at my cursor. Here's a bounce right here. And that bounce also failed. Here's another bounce. That bounce failed, okay? It moves back up, puts in a minor pivot and goes higher, sloppily, overlapping bars, pulls back, moves up. Now, what am I getting at? Why in the world are you looking at a stock in this area anyway? 100% retracements are not what you are looking for in a strong stock. There are certain scenarios or times you can use 100% retracement to get into something. This is not it. Okay? To be clear, a stock that gaps up is bullish. A stock that gaps up and pulls back 110% is no longer bullish. I'll repeat, a stock that gaps up most of the time is bullish. There are exceptions to that, but most of the time it's bullish. So if you have a bullish stock and it pulls back 110%, it's no longer bullish. So why are you even looking at this chart is the number one question I have for you. It's gone. It's dead to you. I don't care if LUV goes to $52 that day. Shit happens. We are pattern traders, okay? And we look for patterns. Why? Because those patterns help increase our odds of success. Doesn't guarantee a win. It doesn't guarantee a loss. It increases the odds of a win. So when you look at a stock like this, you guys are getting enamored by this green bar right here, this engulfing bar. You're getting enamored by this engulfing bar. What you're not looking at is how weak it was to the market, okay? How weak it was after it gapped up and pulled back, how sloppy and overlappy it is in here. You don't want anything to do with this. You don't want anything to do with this. But it takes me to the last point. Somebody mentioned this as a 3-bar play. And some of you right now watching this are going, oh yeah, that's a 3-bar play. It's a wide bar. It's a narrow bar. Yeah. It's not. This is not the first or second bar of a move. It is not an igniting bar. The stock is up 4 bars. So what that it had a doji bar? So what? It's not an igniting bar. It's the 4th bar up. It's right at prior pivot resistance. So that part's okay. Okay. But you're in a sloppy stock. And it's not an igniting bar. So why would you even, 1, have this on your list, and 2, think that that's a 3-bar play? It's not, okay? But here's the thing. This is the worst part about it. It worked. The 3-bar play didn't work, right? It stopped out. Notice it peekabooed over right there and shook you out. Notice it peekabooed over and shook you out. So it actually stopped you out. But some people will justify getting into this down here because it worked. Don't. This is a crappy trade. Crappy trade, okay? The only time on this entire chart that you would ever consider possibly taking this is right here at 11.15. That's it. And I don't even think I would take it here. When you're at $28, right around 11, that's the only time on the entire chart I would think about it. And even then, I don't think I would take it. It's just not clean enough. All right? Stay away from these charts, guys. Stay away from these charts. And just because this thing ultimately worked does not make it a good trade. There is this fallacy. Winners are good trades. Losers are bad trades. That's a fallacy. Okay? All right, let's take a look at another one. Okay. Now, it says, what do you think? Right? What do you think? So we have a stock that's consolidating. It's moving up, has a nice little shakeout, leaves a big old bottoming tail. Right now it's consolidating back at the 114 area. So far, it's not a trick question. It's not a trick question. I'll put a little black ring around this. Don't you think that looks better with that there? Let's do that for a second. Yeah, it looks better like that. All right, so not a trick question. What do you guys think of this pre-market consolidation? You like it? Yes. You don't like it? No. Talk to me for a second. Yes or no? You like it or you don't like it? It's not a trick question. I'm not trying to trick you. Okay? I promise I'm not trying to trick you. Okay? Somebody just said I don't like it because there's no volume. 1, consolidations you don't want volume in. Okay? You want low, quiet, resting volume in the middle of a consolidation. So your answer you gave is the exact opposite of what the answer should be. You should actually say, yes, this is good because there's resting volume in here. But this is not a trick question. This is a really nice pre-market chart. It's really nice. There's nothing wrong with this. The market hasn't opened yet. You can see the blue line here is before 9:30. So if you see this in the pre-market, you're going, damn, that's a really nice pre-market chart of Disney. There's nothing inherently wrong. A $4 gap up on a $100 stock is not that big of a deal. Like, all in all, you're sitting there going, nice. I can't really find anything wrong with it. Here's the problem. Wait for it. Okay. It worked. So some of you are going, yeah, that was a sweet pre-market breakout. How do I know this? Why is this even being mentioned today? Because I got an email over it. Jared, would you review my trade on Disney? Tell me what you think about it. And I hammered the person for it. And they were like, what did I do wrong? I said, you bought a stock that was crazy extended. But it was so nice on the 5-minute chart, and it worked. What's your problem, Jared? Why are you so mean to me? Guys, don't spend that money. The market wants it back. Okay? Ignore the red bar. This gap up is this green bar. This gap up is this green bar. So you had a wide range green bar right here, followed by a wide range green bar right here, a really good size gap up. This is generally something I would stay away from. All right. Now, is it borderline? It is. It's borderline. Like, if this was gapping a little less and this pivot wasn't here, maybe I would consider, maybe. But 3rd day up and the previous 2 days are big. They're not narrow range days. These are big days, guys. This is a $5, $6 day here, another $5 day here, and then you gap up, which is almost like having another day in the middle, right? So you have a wide range green bar, and almost another complete day in the middle because it gapped above all that. and you want to buy it. It's not for me. If you want to scalp the pop really quick for like 1 or 2 minutes, maybe. But what I'm trying to say is this defied the odds. This defied the odds. This is not what normally happens when you take extended stocks that are gapping up 3 and 4 days. And here's the problem. During this pandemic, or whatever you want to call it, stocks have been extremely irrational, extremely volatile. We talked about it today. For goodness sakes, the Qs are 2%, 1% off the all-time high. The economy is screeching to a halt. Car manufacturer sales are down 80%. Flights, resorts, and hotels are down 90%. Nobody's eating in restaurants. People are losing jobs by the millions, 20 or 30 million of them, and the market's almost at an all-time freaking high. There's no sense to it. What I'm getting at to you and using that comment is don't trade like there's no sense to your trading. Make sure you have a plan. Trade like there's a sense to your trading, because this is not going to last. You might get away with it right now because things right now are highly unusual, but this is not going to last for you. If you keep taking these third, fourth day up, gap ups like this, 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, you're going to lose a lot. So it worked on this time, and it's not sour grapes. It's trying to keep you out of extended stocks. Okay? I put this up here because the person was disappointed with it. They're like, Jared, why did you hammer me for this? I thought this was a perfect trade. Well, it is in a vacuum if you like to trade in a vacuum, but we don't. Top-down approach says start with the daily or the 60 and work backwards. I wouldn't get past the daily. I would have never even seen this because the daily is too extended. Don't even tempt yourself with it. Okay? All right. Now let's get into the good stuff. Okay, so integrity. I told you guys when this started, this might end up being one of the most important lectures that I do. Okay, because a lot of you are struggling, a lot of you are failing, and that word integrity is the reason. Okay, it's the reason. Now, it's not exactly the strict definition of integrity why you're struggling, but it's close enough that we're going to use that word today. So what does this mean for a trader, basically? It means doing the right thing no matter how uncomfortable it is, right? It means doing the right thing no matter how uncomfortable it is. And we'll get into that specifically, but many of you, I've been there too. You're in the middle of a trade and it's not going so well. It's uncomfortable. You're feeling like, man, I'm up some money today. I need to get out of this thing. I need to take the money and run. But in doing so, you break your plan. That's a lack of integrity, okay? And we're going to talk more about that, okay? So again, it's not integrity in the traditional sense, okay? But it's enough that I'm going to use the word today, all right? So don't email me, Jared, that's not exactly what integrity is. I get it, okay? All right. So let's talk about life in real life, okay? Ever flip someone off when you're driving? Yet, even though you cut them off, you were clearly in the wrong and you flipped them off anyway. You ever do it? Ever have somebody do it to you? Everybody's thinking, I've never done it, but people have done it to me. Well, if people have done it to you, then some of you have done it to other people. Okay? Let's be honest about it. All right? It's happened. Why? Ego, maybe? Maybe you were pissed off? I don't know. We'll get to the bottom. Don't worry. Ever take a few extra pieces of candy? Even though there's a sign that says, hey, no samples, please. You ever go to those candy stores, you fill the bags with candy like It's Sugar or something like that, and you're like, that looks really good, but I don't want to buy too much of it because I don't know what it tastes like. You didn't go ask the store person, you just, took a piece. Why? Well, because you think it's harmless, right? Yet you were asked not to do it, but it's harmless. There's just not much consequence there. I mean, are you going to go to jail for taking an extra Swedish fish? Probably not. So you do it because you know you can get away with it. Ever lie about being sick to your boss so you could do something more fun because you just didn't want to go to work, or maybe your kid had something you wanted to be there for, but you didn't have the stones to tell your boss the truth. You just called in sick. Okay? Why? Well, because you thought your personal life was more important than work and you knew you could get away with it. But If you knew 100% chance you'd be fired for it, would you still take the day off? Probably not. Right? Because the consequence. I'm going to go through these quick because there's a lot of slides to get through. Ever break something expensive and lie about it? I'm raising my hand because I've done this one. All right? I've done it. As a college kid, I did it. Why? Because I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford to fix what I broke. So, to me, it was worth the shot of lying about it. Why? Because maybe I'd get away with it. Maybe. Like, there's a chance I'd get away with it. And that's worth the risk. The consequence was severe. You didn't want to confront it. Oh my gosh, how am I going to pay back $3,000? I'm a college kid. I'm broke. So it's worth the shot. It's a lack of integrity. Okay? Ever get into a car accident that you knew was your fault and tell the officer it wasn't your fault? Everybody known to mankind that's been in an accident that was their fault? Just be honest about it. You Mother Teresa's out there, get over yourselves for a second. You Gandhis out there, get over yourselves for a second. Ever do it? Ever have somebody do it to you? They clearly hit you. I didn't hit them, officer. They moved into my lane. Okay. You didn't want your insurance premiums to go up. You don't want the points on your license. Whatever it is. You tried to work the system. Right? You tried to work the system to your advantage because of your selfishness at the cost of somebody else. You didn't care about them. You only cared about you. You decided you wanted to be an NFL wide receiver. Me so me. Come get some. The most selfish people in sports are NFL wide receivers, are they not? Me so me. Me. Throw me the ball. You don't throw it to me enough, Tom. So we do this in life. Be honest. It may have been a sample of a piece of candy, virtually harmless. It may have been a car accident that is very serious, or something in between. But here's the thing, and I mean it when I say it. I'm not judging you. I'm not. I've done some of these things, right? I'm not judging you. Nobody's perfect. But here's the rub. Guess what? You can't lie to the market. None of those things work in trading. None of those things work in trading. Your trading salvation is between you and the market. The market knows everything, guys. You can't cheat the market unless you're Goldman Sachs. You can't talk your way out of it. You can't hide from it. It knows everything. You can't steal the piece of candy and not pay for it. The market will get you. You can't lie to the officer. The market will get you. None of those things work. And now you want to know, why am I struggling so much in trading? It's because you can't pull the same bullshit that you pull in the real world against the market, because the market don't play that way. Okay? So your trading salvation is between you and the market. Get right or get lost. Okay? That's the thing. In trading, guys, you don't have a boss, but you do have a master. Okay? An all-knowing and forgiving master. It's the market. So confess your sins and make it right, or suffer the consequences. I'm not joking. This is not a laughable thing. The market is actually one of the most forgiving places to play. And you're going, wait, that goes against everything you always tell us, Jared. You always tell us the market's an unforgiving place to play. It is when you do something wrong, but here's where it's forgiving. It always gives you an opportunity to make it right. So you messed up today, but tomorrow I'm going to give you the opportunity to make up for it. True or false? It always gives you the opportunity to do the right thing. So either get right with the market or move on to something else. I know this is going to offend some people. I'm a God-fearing person, so I felt like I could put it in here. But that's what you need to be doing, man. Get right with the market. Get right with it. Because if you don't, you're going to a hot place, man. A place where they burn $100 bills and they burn them in stacks. That's where you're going if you don't get right with the market, because the market knows everything. So all that stuff like stealing a piece of candy or flipping somebody off, you can't pull it with the market. You can't. So it goes back to the main point. What is integrity in trading? Doing the right thing when you're supposed to do it, regardless of the emotional pain. Doing the right thing when you're supposed to do it, regardless of the emotional pain. In trading, this is the difference between winning and losing in the long run. It's that simple. You guys are always like, Jared, you need to do a psychology lesson. Here it is. I'm getting to the core of it. Okay? Take your stop losses. Let your trades run to target. Don't chase. Only take trades that are in your trading plan. That's integrity in trading. That is what trading integrity looks like. Okay? Most traders fail because they lack it. So whether you want to admit it or not, it takes consequences for most people to show integrity. But here's the rub. If it takes a consequence for you to show integrity, can we really call it integrity? Not really. Doing the right thing regardless of the consequence is what integrity is. So we can't even really call it having or lacking integrity, right? Because now we need a consequence to do the right thing. We're not just doing it because it's right anymore. But when you get to that point, then you know you're on the right path to success. When you can do the right thing because it's the right thing, then you know you have genuine integrity. But here's the problem with traders is they want that short-term joy, or I should say release of the short-term pain. But unfortunately, it leads to long-term pain. So it's not just knowing what's right or what's wrong, it's doing what's right. How many of you know you're supposed to follow your plan? How many of you know taking a stop loss is a good thing, but you don't do it? You know the saying, to know and not do is to not know, right? You've probably heard that. So every single day, your integrity is challenged. It's challenged every single time you take a trade. Is that trade in my plan? Every single time you manage a trade, am I letting it go to target? Every time you stop out on a trade, am I taking my stop where I'm supposed to take it? It's challenged every single day. Okay? But here's the beauty of it. Baby steps. The more times you do it right, the easier it becomes to do it right again. The more times you cheat yourself, the easier it is to cheat again. It's like, that relationship thing. If you never cheat, you're probably not going to, right? The first time you do it, you've opened Pandora's box. To do it again and again and again and again. And that's the way life is in general. If we get away with something once, you're much more prone to do it a second time. If you break your plan once, you're much more prone to do it the second or third time. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes to a point where it's almost natural. Till what happens? You hit the wall, like an alcoholic going over the ledge. The pain becomes so great, it reels you back in. But till you get to that point, it's a bottomless pit. So, another line. Most people won't change until the pain to stay the same becomes greater than the pain to actually change. Most of you are breaking your plan in small ways that you think is harmless, but at the end of the month is very expensive. And you're going to see here on the next slide just how expensive it could be. The craziest part, though, about trading in integrity is doing the right thing rewards us. You got to understand, guys, sometimes in life, integrity is painful, right? Not doing something that your boss asked you to do. But you know if you do it, you'll get a promotion. But you know it's wrong. But you know you can get away with it and get a promotion. What do many people choose? They choose doing the wrong thing because they want the promotion. True, it happens. Lying to get what we want. But then you get caught. But sometimes you don't get caught, so you lie anyway. My point I'm trying to make is sometimes not having integrity in life can forward your career. But there's a lot of times not having integrity is very painful, right? The beauty about integrity in trading is when you have it, you make more money. It should be an obvious thing to do because doing the right thing pays you more. See, in life, we're faced with challenges at times. Well, if I do the wrong thing, I'm going to make more here. Man, but it's the wrong thing. In trading, doing the right thing makes more money, but yet we still aren't sure if we should do the right thing. Isn't that kind of counterintuitive? Think about it for a second. You don't even think about it, do you? Wow, I can't take it. The emotional strain is too much. I got to get out of that trade. So in trading, it's the exact opposite. Having the integrity to do the right thing as is laid out in your plan makes you significantly more money. Don't believe me? I didn't just make this up. Somebody sent this to me, okay? There's a similar one of these in professional trading strategies. This is a discussion I had about 10 years ago with somebody, okay? So this is about 10 years old, all right? This right here. This was a month that somebody sent me, okay? They sent me this long email. I said, hey, Jared, look at this. What do you think about this and what can I do to fix it? That was kind of the question. So over the course of a month, this person sent basically their P&L for each day, all right? And you can see the risk level varies, all right? It's supposed to be in that 125 to 150 range, and most of the time it is, but there's a few times it's not. $98, $94, 176, but for the most part, it's in that range. This is actual P&L, trading plan P&L, and the difference. What this trading plan P&L represents is 2RL or nothing, and what this trading plan P&L represents is what they should have made had they taken the exact same trades but managed them properly per the rules of their plan, basically what they would have made if they actually had integrity. So they actually made $694. So this is a profitable trader. It's a profitable trader. But look at the difference. Are you kidding me? Look at the difference. Almost 10 to 1. Now, I'm not suggesting that for you guys 10 to 1 is normal, but I bet you your plan makes more money than you're making because you're not following it. And you're just thinking it's all about management. I'm not referring just to management. I'm referring to taking a 3-bar play that's not a 3-bar play, which we're going to talk about. I'm referring to not taking a stop loss on one trade that eats up half of your profits, right? I'm referring to over trading when your plan says stop at 5 trades and you take 9 trades. So it's not just related to management. That's part of it though. So long story short, this person should have made on a $145 risk about 44R, and they ended up making about 4 or 5R. This is the difference between what? Saying hi to your boss every day and looking in the mirror and calling yourself the boss. Let me repeat that. $694 is the difference between saying, hey, to your boss every morning, good morning, boss, are those TPS reports done yet? Versus over here saying, F you to your boss, I'm working from home from now on. Okay? 80 grand a year. That's the difference. Integrity is the difference. And I'll show you something later on also. My point is same trades, different P&L. Exactly the same trades. Okay? Exactly the same trades, different management. They broke their plan. How many of you break your plan egregiously more than you should? Breaking it, we had this conversation the other day. If your goal is 2R and you get 1.9, it's not the end of the world. If your goal is 2R and you get like 0.7R, that's a problem, right? This person clearly had a problem, okay? I put this in here because integrity is the difference. It is the difference. All right. You guys have heard this one a lot lately. Pilots and checklists, right? You've heard it a lot lately, okay? Why do pilots have them? And are you glad they have them? Let me ask you guys a question. Are you guys happy? Yes or no? Are you guys happy pilots have checklists that they have to go through before you step on an aircraft? Are you happy that they walk around a plane and visually inspect it and then they have a book that they open up before they take off? Obviously, The answer is yes, and many of you are saying yes. So if you're happy they have them, and I'm assuming you're happy they have them because of the consequence of them not having them, right? Oh yeah, we're kind of low on fuel here, but let's go anyway. Right? Oh yeah, that left aileron seems to be stuck, but I think we could probably get it off the ground. We'll be good. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. Right? Well, if you're happy they have them because of the consequence of them not having them, why don't you have them in your trading? And what is the consequence of you not having them? Right? So do you have a trading checklist and do you follow it? 50% of you are saying I do, and 50% of you are saying I don't. And then of the 50% that do, only 25% of you actually follow it. So at the end of the day, maybe 25% of traders actually have one and follow it. Man, I hope pilots have a higher percentage than that. I sure hope 100% of the pilots that I fly with have it and use it. 1, have it, and 2, use it. Okay? So, what's the problem? Most people do what's inspected, not what's expected. And here's the reason why. Consequence. Integrity. You're going to pay the consequence in trading. So what kind of person are you? Which one are you? Will you do what's expected of you when you are the person inspecting it? Or do you need somebody else? Have to have somebody else to do the right thing? That goes back to integrity. You should be doing what's expected of you when it's expected of you. Why? Because it's better for you. I'll repeat it. You need to be doing what's expected of you when it's expected. Why? Because it's better for you. If this doesn't tell you that it's better for you, I don't know what to tell you. This is obviously a 10x difference. This is a person, between somebody keeping their day job versus being able to quit their day job. All over integrity. But many people don't have it, right? Many people just don't have it because they do what's inspected, not what's expected. And guess what? You don't have a boss in this business. You have a master. We talked about your master is the market. But the master gave you free will, right? Just like your creator did, gave you free will. Your boss doesn't give you free will. Your boss inspects everything. The market does not. The market gives you free will to make your own choices. So what kind of a person are you? What kind of a person are you? Okay? So, I'm going to kind of go through this quick. When I choose my own comfort or convenience instead of stepping forward and risking the consequences, I'm compromising the one thing in life I have 100% control over, my integrity. If I'm willing to compromise my integrity just because of a little discomfort, inconvenience, or pain, then I need to rethink how I think about myself. I'm not a person of integrity. I'm someone who takes the path of least resistance in favor of an easier life. But here's the difference. In trading, it's not an easier life. It's a harder life. That's what's so ironic about it. Okay? Every day you have to make choices between compromising your integrity or facing the consequences of choosing your integrity, right? Some days the consequences are small, so the decision to do the right thing's easy. Right? It's true in trading too. Sometimes the consequence is really small and it's easy to make that decision, okay? But some days the consequence is huge, like not taking a stop loss. That's a serious consequence. That's a big decision. It shouldn't be, but to some of you it is. So I must be in the habit of ignoring the voice in my head that tells me to take the easy way out, so my habit of integrity will prepare me for the bigger challenges. This is baby steps. Do the small things well, and it'll make the bigger, tougher decisions easier. I'll repeat again. Do the smaller things well and do them often, because then the bigger, tougher decisions will be easier for you. And then when you get those out of the way, you don't have anything to worry about. So living with integrity is hard. That's why so few people actually do it well. Acting with integrity when I have nothing to lose is not integrity, right? It's pragmatism. You have a lot to lose in trading, so it's never pragmatism. But here's the funny part. Doing the right thing pays you handsomely in trading. So live your life to a higher standard. In this case, live your trading life to a higher standard. Live your trading life to a higher standard. Why? Because it pays you more. It's more beneficial to do so. There's not even a negative reason to not do it. That's the crazy part, right? So, FOMO is not integrity. This is not integrity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars up. The fifth bar is the biggest bar you've ever seen. It's a $25 bar. But hey, there's a little resting bar. There's my 3-bar play. No. The checklist is right here. It's out there for you to see. I've done 3 videos on this darn play. Bar number 1 must be a wide range igniting bar. Bar number 2, first or second bar of a non-extended move. I really need to change that and say non-extended move, okay? This is not the first or second bar of this move. Higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. It's the 5th bar up. Pilots and checklists. Not having a checklist or not following is no integrity. Why would you ever take this? Because you either are brand new and you didn't know, that's acceptable because you're brand new and didn't know. But for the large majority of you, 80% of you listening, you know what the rule is and you still don't care. Or you ignore the checklist or don't have one, which is a lack of it. We go round and round in circles with this, can't we? Here's another one. 1, 2, 3, 4 bars up. The 4th bar is the widest bar, followed by a narrow range bar. Well, not only is there resistance to the left, you're 4 bars up. The rules are right here. Are you too lazy to go through 3 stinking rules? Yes, Jared. Why? Because I have FOMO, because I have to get in it. Because everybody else is getting in it. You're not everybody else if you have integrity, because most people don't. So show some. Why? Make more money. Should be an easy decision. It just makes more money. Okay? Try it again. Pilots and checklists again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days up. But you're going to take that 3-bar play. Where's your checklist? You're going to take this 3-bar play when this green bar triggers right there. And you're going to be wrong in doing so because you're taking a stock that's crazy extended. It's up 15% after 4 or 5 other days up. Where's your checklist? Why do you do these things? FOMO, lack of consequence, no integrity. A pilot wouldn't do something this dumb because the consequence is death, right? If the sheet on the aircraft says no, it will not do that. For example, hey, you need a 2,100-foot runway for this aircraft. Well, the runway's 1940. We can make it. The book says 2,100. 1940 is not 2,100. You're risking your life and the passenger's life by flying or trying to land on a runway that's 200 feet too short. So guess what they don't do? They don't land on that runway. Unless you're Sully and you got to put it in the Hudson, you don't land on that runway because the consequence is death. Trading, the consequence isn't as severe. It's just, losing your life savings. You choose. Here's another one. This is what integrity looks like. This is one that checks all the boxes. Here's a wide range bar taking out a prior pivot. It's the first bar of a non-extended move. It has not exceeded its trading range. It's followed by a narrow range resting bar and has room to go higher. It's the same thing as all the other charts. The only difference is it's good enough to trade. A chart is just a chart. Your checklist tells you if it's a good chart. Right? I'll repeat it. A chart's just a chart, but your checklist tells you if it's worthy of trading. In this case, it is. Right? In this case, it is. The last 2 were not. Pilots and checklists. Just go down your damn checklist. If it checks all the boxes, you take the trade. If it doesn't, you don't. The runway's too short, go to the next airport. Okay? Here's another one. This is integrity. Entry, stop, and target. How many times a day, guys, in the chat room, do people ask me, hey, Jared, I'm in XYZ trade. What's the target? Every stinking day. Wait, you're already in the trade and you're asking me what the target is? Maybe you should have thought about that before you got in it. Just saying, because that would have been following your checklist. Entry, stop, and target. Every single trade has one. Even if it's an all-time high, I get that question a lot. Let me nip it in the butt. If it's an all-time high, you know what your management approach is. All or nothing, bar by bar, pivots. You still know how you're going to get there. That's still a target. You may not know the exact price point, but you know how you're going to get there. That's your target. I get that question every day. I'm in a trade. What's the target, Jared? I don't know. It's your trade. I didn't even know you took the trade. Why didn't you figure that out before you spent all your hard-earned money on it? I don't know, because I'm dumb. Because I lack integrity. That's why. Because I have FOMO. Entry, stop, and target on everything. This is not integrity. You guys have seen this before. I've probably showed this like 19 times. Now let me ask you a question. How do you feel, or how would you feel, if a pilot left the intercom on? If the pilot left the microphone on and you heard, "I'm going to have a heart attack," or "I don't know what to do," or "Oh shit." How would you feel if in the cockpit that was left on and you heard those words? "Man, I don't know how we're going to get out of this one. Damn, we're really that low on fuel?" If any one of those things came out of a pilot's mouth and you're in the airplane with your family, you're like, shoot, I hope he went through his checklist. I hope he's not me, because I didn't go through my checklist. I'm telling you, I wouldn't want to hear those things. That's what this trader did. Down $2,000. I don't know what to do. Hold or cut my losses. I'm going to have a heart attack. Man, oh man, oh man. And you guys somehow think it's different in trading. Oh, that's for pilots. It's not for me. I'm a trader. Well, if you want to be a losing trader, okay, it's for you. One more time. Notice I'm trying to drive a dagger home on a point. One more time. Get used to your boss if you don't like following your plan. Get used to losing money if you don't like following your plan. If you like to follow your plan, say bye to your boss. Say hi to your freedom. Okay? All right. This is also not integrity. Why? Well, you did half of what you're supposed to do right, but not all of it. So you don't get points for doing half of it right. So this was a good trade in terms of the entry, stop, and target. It's gapping under triple bottom support, right? Pivot here, pivot here, pivot here. You're gapping under it. Wide range bar, narrow range bar, beautiful 5-minute 3-bar play. Entry proper, stop proper. Proper. So far, you're good to go. But your target's down here and you get out here. I'm guilty. I've done this more times than I can count. Can't even count that high. And in the long run, it cost you money. It went on and hit target. It went like 4-1. Your target was 2-1. You got out too soon. Going back to that last slide. Your plan would have made whatever, $1,000 on this trade, and you made 500 or 600. Made half as much as your plan would have made. You did everything right till you had to manage it out. So you have a checklist, and you're going halfway down it, and then you're stopping. I hope the pilot, when I'm in the aircraft with him, goes all the way down to the bottom of the checklist. And I would hope you do too. Okay? You know what's not integrity? Being an idiot, like I was on this particular trade. And this was only 2 weeks ago. I'm not here preaching at you. I do stupid shit too. I just do it less often than the average person. But I still do it. Okay? But I still do it. So, I raised my stop and I got tagged at 30.01 only to watch it hit target. I broke my plan. Don't be an idiot. Don't break yours. I posted this 2 weeks ago. We took a 3-bar play on the 1 minute. Tagged me there. I didn't want to get slippage. Breaking my plan. The stop's 29.85. I moved my stop up 15 cents. Went on to hit target. Cost me $1,000. No, it cost me $1,400. I lost $400 on this trade. And I should have made $1,000. It's a $1,400 swing. Integrity. I lacked it that day. I was worried about slippage instead of staying positive, following my plan and just letting the chips fall as they may. My plan knows best. I serve my master. That's it. This is not integrity. This is a lack of integrity. Question is, how often do you do it? Every day? Once a week? Once a month? Okay? This is a lack of integrity. To have the stones to go ask your girlfriend for 30 G's, it lacks integrity. You knew you were gambling. It quickly turned into a gambling addiction. And they still went and asked for money. So they knew they were gambling. And went and asked somebody else for money. And not only did they ask for the money, they lost more than half of it. That's not integrity, man. That's an asshole. That's what that is. Okay? This stuff's no joke. Okay? So it comes down to this. How can we help ourselves be better? Right? How can we help ourselves be better? It's not an easy thing. It's not always easy, right? Doing the right thing. It's not. Let's be honest. It's not always easy doing the right thing. We're human beings. We have emotions. We have perceived, deficiencies. When we perceive somebody screwed us over, we try to hammer them back even harder, right? You see that in road rage incidents, etc. Okay? But what can we do as traders to foster more integrity or to be better? Develop a consequence system with severe penalties. Keep your trading plan and your management simple. No gray. Just keep it straightforward and simple. You won't be able to lie to yourself. Videotape yourself while you're trading and replay it after the market closes. Kind of watch yourself. See what's going on during the market day when you get excited or upset or emotional, whatever. Okay? Have an accountability partner, a spouse, a friend, a trading buddy. Trade in an office with other traders. Put the P&L on the big screen. A lot of prop firms do it. There'll be 20 traders in a room and there'll be a 70-inch TV in the front of the room and everyone's P&L is listed at the top. Can't hide from that. But I want to go back to the consequence one. Some of you through email have heard this, okay? But Anmol had a coaching student a while ago. This a couple years ago. And this coaching student was very, very religious, a person of faith, okay? And they were highly, highly against abortion, okay? So Anmol, and this person was really struggling with this concept of following your plan. And Anmol basically gave them something to do and said, all right, every time you break your plan, you have to take $100 and go down to your local abortion clinic, your Planned Parenthood. Go down to Planned Parenthood and donate that. And this is a person of severe faith. They're like, that's not going to happen. That's just not happening. I'm not going to do it. He said, well, then you need to quit trading. Because if you can't agree to that, you're telling me you're not going to follow your trading plan. And he's right. If you can't agree to donating $100 to Planned Parenthood because you're not sure if you're going to follow your plan, then you need to quit. You should accept the challenge because in this person's mind, the penalty was so severe, they couldn't even imagine donating to Planned Parenthood. So Anmol's point to them was, well, then don't break your plan. Person eventually agreed to it, took a little bit, but they got to that point. I used this analogy yesterday in the chat room. Some people don't like the analogy, but it's appropriate. Somebody put a gun to your child's head and said, you're going to hold that you're going to hold that stock to 2R, period. If you don't, trigger gets pulled, bye-bye little Johnny. People go, Jared, that's just, oh my God. But you wouldn't let somebody do that to your kid, would you? So what would you do? What would you do? You would emotionally detach from the trade, wouldn't you? Because your emotions toward your child are so much stronger than your emotions in that trade. The trade, well, you wouldn't even flinch. You'd be sitting there and be like, whatever. Staring at your kid's eyes, going, love you, buddy. You wouldn't even think about the trade. For most of your kids, I mean. every once in a while, you know, we all have a child that makes us think about it. I'm just kidding. Relax. Okay. But in all seriousness, okay, the penalties aren't severe enough for you. And that's why you do it. If somebody said, I'm going to chop a finger off every time you break your trading plan, many of you wouldn't have any fingers, or we'd have a hell of a lot more profitable traders. One of the two things would happen. I'm assuming we'd have a lot more profitable traders. Because why? Because you value your fingers and you value, wow, that consequence is really, really severe. If somebody said you're going to go to jail 25 years for getting caught with some weed, you probably wouldn't smoke it. Just saying. That's severe. Your consequences aren't severe enough. That's why you do what you do. Honestly, your consequences just aren't severe enough. It's why you do what you do, because you know you can get away with it. So ultimately, at the end of the day, and we're almost done here. We're almost done. You have to make the decision to do the right thing. Nobody's going to force it on you. The market's not going to force you to do the right thing. You have free will. How badly do you want freedom, flexibility, and lifestyle that trading affords? How bad do you want it? Your actions are going to answer the question. I'm not asking you. Your actions will tell you. Not your words. Screw your words. People talk out there, you know what. Okay? The only people who get away with words and no action are politicians. They're the only people in the world that get away with words with no action behind those words. You don't have that luxury. You don't have that luxury. Your actions will let me know or let you know. Okay? So I'm going to put this up, guys. And I think you would be better just to take a screenshot of it because I'm not going to go through it. But this is a quiz. And this is basically the question is, are you a nervous, stressed out, fearful trader? So again, take a screenshot. Take a look at it because I'm just going to give you a few seconds. I'm not asking you to do it right this second. All right? Just take a quick screenshot. Take a picture with your phone, whatever it is. Okay? There's another slide to it. Okay? Hold on a second. Give it a second. All right? Same thing. Okay? Take a look at it. You can answer the questions later. All right? You can answer the questions later. And I need you to, when you're done, tally them up and read this when you're done. What do your answers suggest about your trading? Again, take a picture of it, take a screenshot of it, replay it, whatever you want to do. Okay, now I'm going to wrap this up. Now that you have that little quiz, take the quiz on your own time. Don't rush through it. Take it on your own time. Okay, so get serious, guys. If you really, really believe in your heart that trading is a viable way to make a living and that technical charts provide you with an edge in the market, then ask yourself why you do these things. Why do you sell before your target? Why do you overtrade? Why don't you take your stops? Why do you increase your risk when your plan says you shouldn't? Why do you take random trades? Why do you take stuff that's not in your plan? Right? Why do you do these things? Why do you go directly against professional advice, even advice that you sometimes pay for? Okay? And then maybe put this on your wall. You get to make a decision. You get to choose. Again, no one will force you to do it. This is not a situation where a boss is going to come in and tell you what to do. You know what to do. If you're not sure what to do, then you ask. It's on you, and that's why people struggle. Okay? So you can choose to live here, right? You can choose to drive this. You can choose to drive in this, going to work, and you can choose to have this guy here yelling at you. No trading integrity? Get used to these things. It's not a joke. It's not a ha-ha thing. Just get used to it. Okay? Get used to the crappy life that you want to leave, which is why you started trading in the first place. You clearly wanted to do this business for a reason. Freedom, flexibility, money, whatever it is. More time with your kids. I don't know. But whatever the reason was, you're not going to get those things if you keep doing what you're doing, right? You know the saying, keep doing what you've always done. You'll keep getting what you've always gotten. Most of you are doing the wrong thing, so you're going to keep getting the things you don't want. Okay? But it's going to have to be this too. Don't wish for it, work for it, man. It ain't going to come easy. It's not going to come easy. It's going to be one of the hardest, probably the hardest thing you've ever done. Okay? I mean it. It's going to be a challenge because it challenges your core beliefs. It challenges your integrity. And it does so just for you with nobody watching. Right? And that's the hardest part. Nobody's there to stop you from killing yourself, basically. Nobody's there to stop you from doing the wrong thing and force you to do the right thing. And it goes and it shows what? That most people have no integrity. I just read an article yesterday. Some couple found a bag, trash bags on the side of the road with $1 million in them. Would you have returned the money? Would you have kept it? There's no way they really could have known. You could have just flown to another country and spent the money. Some people will say, yeah, easy, I'll return that. Other people, oh man, things are tight right now. You know, I needed some of that money. What would you have done? Okay? So, here it is. Step up and show it, guys. Do the right thing because it's right, not because someone's watching you. You're only hurting yourself by not doing it. That's it. Do the right thing because it's right, not because someone's watching you. Why am I saying this? Because nobody's going to watch you. Nobody's going to watch you. So you're only hurting yourself. All right? Okay. That will do it for this week's lecture, guys. I hope you learned a little something about integrity. Like I said, in my opinion, it's one of the most important lectures I've ever done, simply because it's the difference between why most of you aren't doing well and some of you are doing well because you have it and many of you don't. All right? So we'll get back at it again next week. I'm Jared Wesley. Talk to you guys again later.
To get more great educational content, subscribe to the Live Traders YouTube channel. This way you'll get email alerts every time I upload a new video.